It's Loving the Strange with Carrie Jones and Sean Farrar. Loving the Strange, a podcast for weirdos and those who want to be weirder. Embrace the strange. New episodes every Saturday, live streaming Fridays. Loving the Strange. Check us out. Hey, Sean Kelly Farrar and everybody else here. If there is anybody else here, welcome.
Hey, baby, what's up?
Nothing, man. I've got Gabby the dog here in the office with me panting.
Is she still panting?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can hear her. I don't know what I'm going to do. Anyways, but hey, this podcast of awesome
is brought to you by
Gabby the dog panting.
Nobody can hear if we just keep talking.
Maybe that's what I'll have to do. So anyways, this episode is all about parents. You know, you might not be a parent, but this still applies to you because you probably had parents.
You should have.
Maybe, yeah. And like here, this is what I wrote. Parents, we all have some. Some of us are actual parents. Sometimes parents are amazing. Sometimes not so much. But a lot of parents, amazing or not, do a lot of weird things. So that's what we're looking at tonight. The strange things parents do. Boom. What?
It sounds like you're sawing on a real soft piece of wood in there when we stop talking.
Well, all right, just don't stop talking.
All right, anyways. So here, I was thinking about this right before the podcast, and it has to do with our subject matter. And I don't know if it's because I'm from Florida or if this is a common thing. And by Florida, I mean it's like, I feel like there's more water activities in Florida than some states, right? So, especially when it comes to like swimming. And when I was a kid, before I knew how to swim, I feel like I always heard this, and it was always from male relatives, never female. And it would go something to the effect of, well, you know, I was a kid, my dad or Uncle Bob or whatever just threw me right in the water. That's how I learned to swim. And I'd look at him and I'd be like, you're just so full of crap. You're a lying dog.
Really?
Because I knew that. I never believed that. Who's going to throw a kid that can't swim in the water? Because I knew from a very young age that kids didn't just automatically learn how to swim. It's not like an automatic inflating life vest. When it hits the water, it poops up. Right?
Yes.
I was wondering if you could even hear me.
I can hear you.
There was total silence there for a minute.
I put myself on mute because of Gabby's panting.
Don't do that. That freaks me out.
Well, I'm sorry. But yeah, dude. Did they not just throw you in the water?
Oh, no. God, no.
How did you learn how to swim, babe?
Oh, I was trained by the monkey.
Can you like get your head up higher so like the
maybe I could do this right here?
Yeah, look at now I can see you. That's
how's
perfect.
that? How's that there?
That there's good, babe. That's good.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah. So how did you learn how to swim? Did your parents teach you to swim in a weird way?
I told you I was trained by the monkey.
Honey, I want to know. I know your family had a monkey as a child.
It taught me how to swim.
I do not believe that the monkey taught you how to swim.
All right. It might have a little bit, but
I don't believe you. I think you're a liar.
We always had
married
pools.
A liar.
When I was of learning how to swim age, young age, we always had pools. So I just get in the water and hang on to somebody's neck, and pretty soon, you start it's just like any kid. You let go of the side of the pool, and you go a little further. I never learned anything technical about swimming. Whatever, any stroke I know is from watching the Olympics or something on television.
So your parents never threw you in?
No, but they did teach me the basics. Get on your back and relax and learn how to float. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of my parents who raised me, sort of like my birth certificate parents, they were terrified of water over their head.
So there's no reason on God's green earth they're going to throw you in the water.
No.
Because you would be irretrievable.
I know. I have a really funny story about that, man. I have a funny story about that. But first, Dee said that she heard that, like, you just throw them in. But her parents took her and her brother to learn how to swim because her parents were good people. And Steve just says randomly, it puts the lies in its mouth. And we all know what Steve was referencing there. But yeah, like that. So, all right. So my parents didn't know how to swim, right? Like, my birth certificate parents, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, like my little hobbit dad and my little hobbit mom did not know how to swim. And I fully remember when I was a little kid and my dad had me for Sundays occasionally when he remembered. He had a bad memory. It's not because he didn't love me. Anyways.
You're old enough to know the truth, baby.
No. So anyways, we were at Hampton Beach in New Hampshire, and I was just like adventure girl. I was a super tomboy. It's hard to realize that if you know me now. And I was swimming, and I got caught up in a riptide. And I remember screaming for my dad, and my dad just being like, and talking to one of his lady friends, and she's like, Lou, something's going on there. And he's like, and I was like, oh, wow. And then I tried to remember, I was like in 2nd or 3rd grade. I was super little. And I tried to remember this book I had read about riptides. And I think it was part of Island of the Blue Dolphins, but I'm not sure. And I just let it take me. Because I'm like, you're supposed to not fight it. Eventually it'll stop. And I ended up landing on this like breakwater thing. Like, I guess is that the word? And it was all like rocks, and like I tried to scramble up, and like I was like covered and like barnacle cuts and stuff from trying to get out of the water.
That's the worst. You're lucky you still got your legs.
And then my dad was like, "What were you doing?" And I was like, "I got caught in the riptide." And he was like,
"Saving
what
my ass,
the heck?" Dude. Yeah. And so then he threw me back in the water so it didn't get like infected. And
that was smart.
I know, but I was so mad at him. And then I went home and my mom said, "What the hell did you do? What the hell did you do to her, Lou?" And it was like such a divorced parent moment. But my Aunt Patty was the one who taught me how to swim. She was pretty awesome.
You know,
she gave me those little floaties that go around your biceps. Did you have those? In Florida?
I don't remember, honestly. I can't say.
Man.
I don't think so, though.
Really?
I don't think so, yeah. So,
did they just throw you in?
I just told you they didn't throw me in. They might have enticed me in because I remember one of my uncles sliding one of my kittens down the slide into the water. So maybe I had to jump in and save it, but I don't know.
Earlier today, we were talking about how Sean was a cat person, and this just proves it.
Steve, can you please post that again? Puts the lies in his mouth.
I'll post it. So, Sean, didn't you see a story about this on Reddit or something about what people do with their children to, like, parents do the strange things that they do in order to teach them how to swim?
Oh, yeah.
Do you not want to share it?
No, I got a little list here. I'll try to be quiet with my paper sliding.
No, tell the one about them with the life jacket and the...
Yeah, that's what I was going to start with because it's right in line with what we've been talking about. Strange swimming lessons. Before I was totally competent swimming by myself, my mom... And
this comes from Reddit. Can you say where it comes from, hon?
No, because I don't have that information on my paper.
All the links will be on carriejonesbooks.blog in the notes. And this one, I think, comes from Reddit. There you go.
Now she's acting like I'm totally incompetent, but she knows she's got to write stuff down if she wants me to be able to remember it. Anyways, strange swimming lessons. Before I was totally competent swimming by myself, my mom would put a life jacket on me, tie a long piece of nylon rope to it, and chuck me in the river. She'd basically swim me on a leash down the river for fun. Maybe she's just trying to catch that river monster.
It's like you were the bait. Like the kid was the bait.
That's right. She's the predecessor of the current show River Monsters.
That's so funny. When we had a boat at Lake Winnipesaukee, I used to see people doing that with their kids. Like they would tie
On a rope?
things to the life jackets and be like, "Go, go."
Is that because of the heavy current in Lake Winnipesaukee?
There were some good currents, actually.
It's so the parents didn't have to get wet if their kids got in trouble.
Yeah,
They could just haul them in like a lobster pot.
Yeah, my stepdad, my bonus dad, was a wicked good swimmer. And he could not handle the fact that my mom was like afraid of water over her head. We would like beg her to jump off the boat in Lake Winnipesaukee, and she'd scream and cry and clutch onto my dad and basically like get her fingernails into him because she was so panicky.
Ah, man.
Yeah, it was bad.
I'd have left her up on the beach.
She was really bad.
With the seagulls that she loved so much.
She was also afraid of seagulls.
How did she even go to the beach?
She didn't do very well, honestly.
All right, back to the podcast. Don't you have a list as well?
I do. And this is one of my favorites. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Because parents, circling back to the point of the podcast, is parents are weird and they do weird things. And it feels like every family kind of has a story of parents doing weird things, unless they're like part of the beige army or something. But this is one of my favorite ones. Ready?
Yes.
I've entitled it Beating Sticks.
Oh, all right. Go ahead. I might have a story that goes with that.
I bet you do. I bet you do, Shani. All right. So this came from Reddit, and it's a direct quote. It says, "Our favorite part of Christmas was the beaten sticks." No G at the end of beating. We'd take the empty wrapping paper rolls and wrap them top to bottom with duct tape. Then we'd have a family battle royale until all of the beaten sticks had deteriorated and fallen apart. Growing up, I always found it odd that other families threw out their beaten sticks instead of using them for their intended purpose, beating. It's like, hey, Merry Christmas. Let's kill each other.
I know.
It's so American.
And it was either they got a lot of presents because they went through a bunch of rolls of wrapping paper, or it was a very small family. Very small family. Very
small. Do you have any Christmas weird stories in your family or in your list? Yeah.
I thought I had a. Oh no, that was silly. I had a good one. Silly. No, I'll tell it.
All right, I'm ready.
But first, I wanted to talk about the beaten sticks. When you were a kid, did you ever go into a house, maybe your own house, and there was a gigantic wooden spoon and wooden fork on the wall in the dining room?
Yes.
Yeah. And did you ever hear that the parents in that house use that spoon to whoop their kids' butts?
No.
Oh, see, that must be a Southern thing, because that seemed to me to be very common.
Really?
Like if you went in a house with a gigantic wooden spoon and wooden fork on the wall, you were guaranteed to hear how that wooden spoon was used to whoop the kids' butts that lived in that house.
What is wrong with you?
It seems to. I never said it. Do we have wooden spoon and wooden fork?
We do not have a ginormous wooden spoon and a wooden fork in our house or on the wall, honestly. Why would they put them on the wall? That's the question.
It's their decorations. They're like 3 feet long, baby. It's not like salad forks. They're really giant.
It's like they're expecting King Kong to come hang out. So Dee said, one Christmas I wanted an iPod, but my mom said I could get it for Valentine's Day. I was crushed, but thought nothing of it. Then all of a sudden, my dad told my mom to give me my present, and she chucked my iPod at me. Did she break it? Because that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, they probably didn't have insurance back then.
Oh, man. Dude, that's so mean. That
is mean. Parents are
break your little heart. They are mean.
They can be mean. And Dee said she caught it.
Oh, good. That's good, because that's all that matters, D. Good reflexes. And John Bell says, my mom used to make me break off a switch from the trees in the schoolyard in front of your house, Sean.
Yeah.
No.
Hey,
No.
I can't attest to that, but I can believe it. My mom never said that. Well, my mom might have said that to me, but nobody in my family ever enforced it. But I heard that so much from my grandmother. She's like, boy, you're about to walk out in that yard and break me off a switch for your ass.
In
Now,
the north, I don't think I ever even heard the word switch.
Well, a switch is about a 2-foot long tree branch that's really thin and really nimble.
Really?
And can make noises when it whips through the air before it makes contact with your skin.
That's
terrible.
A switch. That's like Spartan. It's like you grew up in Sparta.
It cures
Maybe
children.
Florida is Sparta. Modern day Sparta.
It cures children of their ailments.
That's so wild.
Or turns them into psychopaths.
Sean, you should tell the story about, because it vaguely relates to D, like that story about Christmas and presents.
In my family? When I was a kid?
Well, you can tell that one, but I was thinking about the one on the list that you have in front of you, but you can definitely tell the weird things that your parents gave you or grandparents for Christmas.
Maybe later. I'll tell this one.
All right.
It says, regifting queens. Being given things I already owned as presents. SNES and N64, which I know to be both game systems, video game systems, would be pawned. And I'd get them back on Christmas or my birthday.
That's so horrible.
That's so sad. Like your crap just disappears.
And then it's like, here, your crap is back.
My video game got kidnapped, and because I was fairly decent with my behavior, I got it back. Oh my
That's so
God.
bad. I have here the story of the Christmas monkey. Are you ready?
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay, so for Christmas, my family always puts the Christmas monkey on top of the tree. It's this little worn out monkey puppet that's 70 or more years old. Sounds so creepy.
That's awesome.
That sounds creepy. My great grandmother used to own it. I always thought it was the coolest thing. I didn't understand why people put stars and angels on the top of their trees when they could have had a bomb-ass little simian friend impaled on the pines. Can you imagine going to somebody's house and there's this ancient monkey puppet thing?
I thought it sounded pretty cool until you said that. I wouldn't want my friends over. Yeah.
Okay, like what would you think? Like what would you think about your parents? Like, oh yeah, this is our Christmas monkey. For a long time, Emily and I, on top of our tree, I won something at the grasshopper shop for a raffle, and it was we thought it was a tree topper, and we put that on top of our tree, and we never took off the like little "you're a winner" message either that they had written on it. That's pretty weird, right?
I think as long as you don't come from a family of parents that are like strictly by the book and traditional, almost all American families at one point or another have something odd as a Christmas tree topper.
Do you think so?
And usually it's sentimental to the family. Yeah. Heck yeah. Nah.
Dee said, You're scaring me. All right, Dee said that she got a used activity book and a shirt she couldn't wear for Christmas one year. Dee, if that is like your worst complaint for your Christmas, oh my gosh, you needed to come and live in my house. I got like...
Oh, here we go. Half-smoked cigarettes.
Half-smoked cigarettes. I was a tomboy, but they didn't want me to be, so they gave me lilac sweaters with big white hearts on it and like lilac leg warmers with big white hearts. Every year I asked for Legos but Lego was too expensive, I guess. And I would get hand-me-down Barbies with clothes that my Aunt Patty made. My Aunt Patty was kind of a rock star, but yeah.
Man, you should have kept those things.
I know. But to be fair, I think the fact that the activity book was used, that's pretty bad.
That's like, if you're going to use an activity book or like a half-done crossword puzzle, that's the worst of the worst. I'm sorry, B. I'm sorry.
And then did they whip the iPod at you right after? They're like, here's your half-used activity book.
Oh.
I think these parents should have been hanging around with my parents, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had a bad Christmas.
Oh my God, for our braggy bragger.
I might have that I forgot, but.
Baby, don't you have a story about
our
a Christmas
family
tree?
was pretty Christmas heavy. What?
Don't you have a story about Mr. Christmas Tree?
The worst Christmas on record for me personally is when my aunt, who was just a few years older than me, was like a teenager. And I got locked in my room on Christmas morning until that friggin' little woke up at whatever reasonable hour of 11 or 12 she thought was cool.
Babe, your aunt's probably listening to this.
And I had to wait so many, because I was probably up at like 5. So that's like 6 hours. I darn near chewed my fingers off. You see the scars?
Oh my gosh, look at that. That's painful. Hey. You poor little baby boy.
Here's a story.
All right. Then I'm going to...
What?
Then I'm going to tell my cousin's story. Let you go first.
Oh, all I saw was blankness from her.
No, it's...
My dad did this thing around Christmas time that was called Mr. Tree. Basically, my mom would bring us to the window and he would stand behind the Christmas tree and pretend like the tree was talking to us.
That sounds like me.
Yeah, it does. After Christmas, they would tell us that Mr. Tree went back to the Christmas tree farm. Suckers. Imagine my horror when I learned that Mr. Tree was not a thing that other kids had.
Oh, so like...
He thought Mr. Tree was real, apparently.
Like, they thought Mr. Tree was just part of the Christmas tradition?
Yeah. Like Santa Claus.
Aw, that's so sweet. We do that with Santa Mouse.
Man, why you give me the sad ones?
I didn't mean to.
All
right, here we go. I can't see my face over that, but that's probably a good thing. So my adorable, brilliant cousin says, my mother, I know I can't talk. All right. My mother was a Jehovah's Witness most of her life, so we didn't celebrate Christmas or birthdays. However, back east, we lived upstairs and my grandparents downstairs. So we would have breakfast like it's a normal day upstairs and then go downstairs to the tree, presents, and celebrations. So confusing and royally pissed my mom off. Most presents were usually homemade sweaters and encyclopedias and Bibles. Oh,
I gotta say something.
You should have come to my house and had the hand-me-down Barbies.
That is one of the best stories I've ever heard.
Just because they went downstairs and had Christmas?
Yeah, because they were like giving the middle finger. Because every time, I don't think about Jehovah's Witnesses every day, but like if I hear somebody is one or whatever, I'm like, I just feel so bad. Because that's like, for everybody but Jehovah's Witnesses, mostly, that's like a big part of your life growing up and family time and stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't get even experience that because I'll stop there.
Because you don't get to have the celebration, you know?
I was going to say because their parents are cheap.
No, it has nothing to do with it. It's their religion.
I know, that was a joke.
Oh, my gosh. Oh,
I just thought of a really great joke, but I don't want to offend anybody, so I won't.
I'm sure you'd probably offend everybody. So we'll go and move on. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Are you sure? So
I don't know where we were before that great story, but
that's a really good story. I will always remember the time that Emmy, my little girl, and I were dyeing Easter eggs. And my bonus dad taught me that you should always be nice to everyone, and it drove my mom crazy. So whenever anyone came to the door, my stepfather would be like, "Come in, let's talk, hang out. What do you want? Do you want some juice? Do you blah blah blah?" Because he was just like that, right? And I got that from him, and only recently lost it thanks to the influence of Sean. And one time
what?
when
You lost your sociability because of me?
Yeah, I lost my kind, trusting nature. So one time, these Jehovah's Witnesses came to our door, and Emily and I were dyeing Easter eggs. I ended up writing a poem about this, and they were just like, "Do you know what Easter represents?" And they started talking about beheading and all this stuff. And Emily was like 3 years old, covered in Easter egg dye, and naked, like half naked, because she was a messy Easter egg dyer. And I was just like, these people think I'm from hell and that I'm Satan right now. I know they do. They don't think I'm going to be one of the saved. And Emily still remembers that, even though she was just a little kid. Like, she still remembers them being like, "You know what Easter's really about. It was a pagan holiday. You know, it was co-opted, right? You know that." And like beheading. And she was just like so upset. And it was bad. It's a bad moment. And I also always remember I had just had Emily, and we were living in Lewiston, Maine, and people came to the door, and I looked so bad because I came home from the hospital that day and Emily hadn't slept at all. And I opened the door, and these two adorable young girls who were like missionaries, they were like, "Have you accepted Jesus into your heart?" And I was so crazy that I was like, "Do I look like it?" And they were like, "Ah!" And they ran away. It was so bad because she had just fallen asleep, and I was like, "Do not wake up my child."
Shut up.
Yeah, it was so bad. I felt like I was the devil when I talked to those poor children. I will always remember that.
How long has it been since you've even answered the door, honey?
Years
4 or 5 years.
Because if I answer, then I won't be able to shut it again. You know how it is. I talked to the UPS and FedEx drivers for forever, and the postal office workers forever.
And
that's my weird parent thing.
And the garbage man.
I talk to people a long time if I interact. It's bad.
Somebody will get my joke. Anyways, go ahead.
What's your joke?
What were you saying about your parents?
I don't remember anymore.
We were talking about the postman, the UPS man, how you came to be.
That's mean. That was like a low blow.
It was.
A low blow for our, oh my word.
We know that's not true.
For all of you who cannot see us and are only listening us on audio, I just waggled my finger at Sean, and he deserves it.
Which is basically the Vulcan death grip.
Yes. All right, you ready? I really love this one. Oh, thanks, Peg. Peg says, "But we love talking to you." Peg might have been talking about Sean, but I don't know. And my cousin says, "I love Sean Farrar."
It's
I love him too.
I'm gonna change my name.
To what?
Sean.
I'm afraid. I'm so afraid of this.
The talent. Farrar.
Oh my God.
Because I always wanted to have 4 names.
You worry me.
And your petty jealousies have made me egotistical.
I just want you to be happy, baby. All right, you ready? I have a really good one.
All
ready?
Because of you. Yes, I'm ready.
I have entitled this one, "Let Me Use My Uterus."
Your what?
Uterus.
Oh, I thought you said neuterus. Honest to God. No, I'm serious. I thought it was a play on words.
Uterus. All right, ready?
Can you please repeat the title and then proceed?
I can't now. Let me use my uterus. Let's see if I can say this pretentiously. Whenever I would lose something, I would always ask my mother if she knew where it was. Typically, she did, because that's what moms do. But she wouldn't just tell me where the lost item was. She would pause for a moment and close her eyes and say, "Let me use my uterus to find it." It was obviously a joke, but I had no idea what a uterus was as a child. I have no idea how many times I suggested someone else use their uterus to find a lost item, or told people my mother used her uterus to find lost items.
So all I can picture,
so weird.
All I can picture is that woman's uterus coming out like a snail and just like sniffing out the lost items.
You made me snore.
Yes, I'll go by the talent for short.
So Dee has asked Sean if Sean would go by the talent for short, and yes, of course he would. Or also TT, or talent, or maybe eventually even the Tal, because he's cool like that.
I don't like the Tal. No,
I like it. I'm going with that one then.
I go with the talent or TT. TT. Yes.
Jonah's like, "Your mom hilarious." And Dee says, "I feel like this is something I would hear working in the school system with my little babies." I feel like you might be, Dee. All right. We have a story from Jenna. You ready?
Yeah.
You want to read it, Shani? Because I read the last one.
Since I probably prompted her to write it.
Probably.
I was raised Jehovah's Witness, and I was blessed to have people with great light from that church to love and guide me. But so many in the church were too intense for many in the ministry. I left the church because of the intensity and the hypocrisy. I still see and love on and pray for those few who shared their light. But like you, my family was brought into the church because we had to be extra kind to everyone. My father insisted. I'm still that way. Can I say something?
Yeah. It's exactly how it is, though. Like, I met, some of my favorite people were Jehovah's Witnesses. In 7th grade, we had this project and we got assigned things and for career day, and you pulled the career out of the hat, and I got Jehovah's Witness pastor or minister or something. I can't remember what the bishop maybe was the title. And so I had to go interview these people, and they were so nice. They were just so nice. They were not like the people who came to my door about Easter.
I know you're trying to get me to forget what I was going to say because you're afraid I'm going to offend Jenna, but I'm not, because I promise you, all I was going to say was that I spent a lot of years of my youth in a Pentecostal church, and it's exactly the same thing. A little too much intensity and a little too much hypocrisy. You know what I mean?
I feel like any organization is going to have that. It doesn't even have to be a religious organization, but there's always a lot of issues and things where you have lots of people and there's a possibility to have power,
That's right, baby. Well, I think we're okay. You don't need to smooth it over. We're good.
Oh, I wasn't trying to. It's just
you sounded like it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just actually think that. Oh my gosh. Peg said a student once told me her mom was spaded. Her poor uterus.
I think that might involve more than a uterus getting spaded.
It's so funny, though. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? I don't know how teachers don't crack up hysterically sometimes.
I'm sure they do. That's what the teacher lunchroom's for, I think. It's really just a big giant open mic night comedy style.
That would be awesome in a good school. Did your parents ever wash the plastic plates and utensils?
No. Like disposable plastic?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's a weird thing parents sometimes do.
But I do have a living family member that will wash out and reuse Ziploc bags.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Or they
I've
used
never
to.
heard of that.
Unless they've started to make more money, enough money that they felt they could surpass that level of frugality.
Have you ever been at anybody's house? All right, so there's the people who wash and dry and reuse. Oh, see, Jenna, see? Those
No,
people
it's
who
like
wash.
Jenna's on the hit list tonight. Every time we mention something.
Sorry, Jenna. Sorry. But like, I remember, I'm sorry, but my mom would also do that, Jenna. My mom was very, very frugal, and she would wash and reuse plastic stuff all the time. She'd be like, why would you want to throw it away? It's still good. But we had in our neighborhood this other, not in our neighborhood, you had to go up the street and go to the subdivision where the rich people lived. But there was a rich family in that subdivision, and they would only use really fancy things for all meals. So like you would drink apple juice and milk at their house out of wine glasses.
Really?
Yeah. The first time I ever saw like a wine glass, because my parents were not drinkers, was at these people's houses. And I was like, why is there like a stem? Blah, 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 blah. It was so fancy. And then I went home to plastic utensils being rewashed. But like,
that's okay.
It's just so interesting because it's such extremes, you know, and it's like what's normal for like your community and your bubble and your family it might not always be normal in other people's, you know. Like I was like, oh, why would you possibly be drinking apple juice out of wine glasses? But to them it was totally chill and normal. Peg washes and reuses Ziploc bags. This is so interesting to me. Do you put them in the dishwasher or do you have to do that in the sink?
I was just going to make a joke about that, how my family tried to reuse the plastic silverware, but the dishwasher kept melting it. So
you always pretend like you grew up poor, but you had a dishwasher for our dishwasher.
Yeah, but you had to wheel it over to the sink and plug it into the faucet.
Jenna says I always just feel a teeny bit better when I use them a couple of times. Exactly, because they're plastic and it's reduce, reuse, recycle, and you want to reuse, right?
Yeah, and the dishwasher was at my grandparents' house. At home, the dishwasher, his name was The Talent. That's me.
What? Oh, my word. So Krista Apozzolini is my friend from high school. Reuses everything she can, even wrapping paper and gift tissue. My mom was the queen of reusing wrapping paper and gift tissue. I can do the gift tissue and the gift bags, but in this house, the wrapping paper just doesn't make it usually. And my mom would meticulously unwrap all presents just so she could save it. Yeah, and then she'd fold it really nicely afterwards. It was adorable.
Hey, my aunt that just died, that was her thing at Christmas. Wrapping paper, clothing boxes.
Oh yeah, those definitely reusable. We reuse those, babe.
Bows.
Oh yeah, bows.
Boxes, yes, they're very important to keep. She would even try to do ribbon, I think, but
you guys had ribbon?
She was also how do you think I was like 3 years old when I learned how to take a piece of ribbon and curl it on a pair of scissors. Like that.
I don't want to ever hear how you grew up poor ever again if you had ribbon on your presents. That is a luxury, my friend. Like, that is amazing. Do you want to tell everybody what?
I had a lot of poor periods.
Oh, okay. Do you want to tell everybody what used to be on the Christmas tree for presents? Although I guess that's your grandparents versus your parents.
Tree. I was just a kid. Well, I was probably in my early teens, but it was my grandparents' Christmas tree. And they had quite a few kids. Not a lot, but like 5, 6. 3 that survived. No, I'm just kidding. There was 5. There was 5 kids when I was so my mom and my aunts and uncles. Anyways, every Christmas morning, I'm going in cold with no backstory or anything.
You can do it, baby. It's all about parents being weird and grandparents.
For my grandfather's children, obviously not for the grandchildren, but for my grandfather's children, so the 5 of them, and also some of his closer friends, there'd be a little sandwich bag with an ounce of marijuana in it hanging on the Christmas branches like decorations with everybody's name on it.
And that's how Shawnee grew up.
Cool as fuzzies. Yeah.
Whereas in my house, you weren't even allowed to have alcohol at some times of our existence.
Depends on who was there, right?
Yeah, during my stepfather's era, we had alcohol, but they only drank on holidays and on the weekends on the boat. That was our wealthy time. And before that, you weren't ever allowed to drink, ever. Like, I think my little Hobbit dad, the only thing he ever drank was ginger brandy and apricot brandy.
That's like, those are like friggin' well, never mind. But he have to drink a lot to get drunk.
Oh, he didn't have to drink a lot to get drunk.
That's because he didn't drink.
Yeah, everyone in my family were like the biggest lightweights. You could like give them a glass of wine, like a half glass of wine, and they would be falling over. Like just like laughing and giggling and wetting their pants. Like they had no control at all. Like it was amazing.
I grew up in this really weird. Well, my family was pretty much kind of a hippie family, but not hippie. They were, what would you call it? Like they were trendy hippie? I don't know. But
they were the kind of people who put pot and bags on the Christmas tree.
Because my mom was the oldest sibling, I wasn't that much younger than my aunts and my uncles.
Yeah.
So I know that like if we went to like a family gathering, I'd be hanging out with all the people that would be like bringing alcohol to the party and smoking bones. That's
amazing. That's amazing.
And somehow they must have figured out, I don't know why, they just had faith in God or something, that they just were totally honest around me. I'd be okay. And I was, but I don't know how.
Jenna called you a trendy hippie.
Yeah. That's
their
exactly
family.
what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a monkey, for God's sakes, like a live pet monkey.
I would give anything to be able to like go back and hang out with your family when you were a little kid and be your bestie.
Look, when I was in first grade, my grandfather and my aunts and uncles raced go-karts. In my house, there was a monkey, a boa constrictor big enough to probably kill me, multiple fish tanks I could swim in, probably. And that's about, other than the mice that were being raised for the boa constrictor, that's about it. But besides cats.
A lot of cats.
Yeah, not a lot, but off and on a lot.
Baby, you know what it's like? It's like you grew up in like the Tiger King's house without the tigers.
Yeah, without the king, actually.
Were there a lot of mullets?
There's no mullets in my house. No, man, my family was all like a weird combination of surfer redneck hippies.
So weird. That sounds amazing. That just sounds so. My family is just uptight, and your family sounds so much cooler.
Harley
and
riding.
You can see the difference right now. Honestly, you can see.
You sure can. Jeez, not that I do any of that cool stuff, but it's about to genetically fizzle out, actually. So, luckily, I have a brother, and he's got
your brother will carry it on.
He's got an adventurous son.
All right, you want to hear other weird things that people do as parents? Yeah. All right. In other countries, people think that American parents are very strange because they drive SUVs.
Okay.
Because they're like, why would you like make your whole car about carting around your whole family? That's not sexy. Another weird thing that parents do is they spell out words in front of their kids even after their kids know how to spell spell those words. We
I
don't
know,
do
that's
that.
funny. Not
Yeah.
anymore. We've got a 13 and a 27-year-old. I mean, Emily, go to BED.
I think I may have said that.
Not when? Recently?
Maybe.
Maybe.
So,
She's a
all right,
27-year-old one, by the way.
she just barely turned it. So another weird thing is
Just
that
barely.
just barely is that if you think about it, it's kind of weird. Like you call each other mama and daddy or papa and mommy.
You mean like a little pet name for? A lot of times it's grandparents, right?
No, it's like, hey, Emily, go tell daddy. And then you'll be like,
Oh,
and then you'll see daddy and you'll be like, hey, daddy, Emily says, and you'll be the spouse, but you'll be calling your significant other or
I
like,
thought you were talking about divorced people.
no, but isn't it weird? Like you stop calling your spouse by their name and instead of start calling them by their label, like their parental
Yeah,
unit label, like,
right.
hey, mommy, hey, daddy, let's go to bed. Hey, daddy, the kids are asleep. Hey, daddy,
Now,
what do you
see,
think we
that's the
should get them for
problem. You should
Christmas?
only be talking to mommy or daddy when the kids are in bed.
I'm
Like,
just, yeah, and that's why it's weird. That's why it's weird. It's a weird
it is
and
weird.
strange thing that parents do, and they do it all the time. Like, I still refer to Emily as dad, who's not Sean. I was married before. Anyways, as daddy. I'll be like, hey, Emily, how's daddy doing? Did you guys have a good talk? And I'll be like, I'm not like, hey, Emily, how's Steve? Isn't that weird? I think
Not
it's
really.
weird.
But she doesn't call him by his given name, so I think it's cool.
All right. And Jenna agrees. We do tend to dehumanize one another with titles here. Thank you, Jenna.
Yeah.
Jenna's making me feel validated, which I really appreciate. And
I know.
my cousin says, I'm not even married to my daughter's dad, and his name is Daddy when I speak of him. It's weird. We're weirdos, cousin. Yes, we are. We are weirdos together.
She does call me daddy a lot, actually.
Do not call me.
She does.
Johnny, do you have another story to share? Can I distract you that way?
Oh, yeah. Sure thing, mommy. Sure thing.
Oh, no. Creepy.
Parents Use Drugs Too is the title of this one.
Oh, no.
And I have an after story if you want to hear it.
I would love to hear your after story.
I hope nobody in my family is listening to this.
You know, because this is going to be the one podcast.
This is not my story. This is a story from wherever my uncle got it from.
Reddit.
When I was a little kid in the early 80s, 6/7, before my parents divorced, they used to keep an upside-down Frisbee under the living room couch that I was forbidden to touch. Well, one afternoon while I was at home with the babysitter, it's so hard not for me to lie right now. My dad comes home from work to find me in the backyard playing with that Frisbee, and he freaked out. Turns out they kept a pot in the Frisbee. And being a kid, I didn't know what all the greenery was, so I dumped it out in the yard before playing Frisbee, thinking it was grass clippings or something.
Oh, so much money.
Stupid kid. Although it's her parents' fault, or his or her parents' fault for not being honest.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you had to really have a hookup back in the day for that, and it wasn't cheap.
I'm sure.
And here she's just
throwing it out.
A bunch of goody goodies over there at the Barnard residence.
They were goody goodies. All right, what's your follow-up story, babe?
My follow-up story is that when I was, ever since I can remember, years old, there was always a tray underneath the couch. And my family.
Did people do this under the couch? Why is it under the couch?
Are you going to interrupt me all night?
I just don't get it, baby.
Because that's where people congregate and hang out and socialize back in the day. The couch. In front of
but it's so dusty under there.
No, Not when you're regularly moving something in and out. So, if I may continue, please, ma'am.
Oh, my word. You're annoying. Yes.
No matter what house of my family you went to, there was always a tray, and I call it a tray because that's exactly what it was, under the couch. And the majority of the time, it was around about probably 16 inches in diameter. Now,
I can't believe that.
No,
Baby, no one cares. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Anyways, it was most always a Coca-Cola metal drink serving tray. So it had a
Like they
side.
have at Jetty's?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right now, they'd be considered to be like retro, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's where the weed was, and the rolling papers, and that's just the way it was. I wasn't really ever told to not touch it. I never did. I mean, I could roll a tight joint by the time I was probably like 13. But I never smoked it. I just practiced to see if I could from my observational learning skills.
Little Shawnee is so cute. John Bell said old McDonald's tray. It was 95 degrees outside, so the living room was the place.
That's right.
You all are from entirely different, probably.
Well, by that point in time, the old Coca-Cola trays weren't easy to come by, so it was way easy to walk out of McDonald's with a tray under your arm.
I have that's stealing.
Come on, baby, catch up.
It's really hard because I just don't have that in my world. It's hard. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have it at all. But that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all.
Oh my gosh! All right, ready? I have a story that relates. Ready?
Yeah.
It's called the Bacon Box. I named it the Bacon Box.
All right.
So, and it's from Reddit. Parents used to keep their weed in a bacon box, just a short rectangular Tupperware container, under the couch all the time. One day, some woman came by selling something. Might have been Tupperware? And my mother was in the kitchen or the bathroom, and my older brother led her inside. Apparently, their older brother was also raised by my stepfather. Then, to be hospitable, I guess, he got the weed out from under the couch and asked the woman if she wanted to smoke a joint. Right at that moment, my mother walked into the room, and she was just horrified. My brother and I couldn't really understand what was wrong because that's the first thing that happened when somebody stopped by. Everyone would have a seat in the living room, and mom or dad would pull out the weed and offer the company herbal refreshments. We were just trying to be friendly.
That's awesome. That's a family tradition right there.
Can you imagine?
That's incredible.
I can't even imagine, so for someone like me, that would be a weird parent thing to store a pot on a Frisbee or a Coke tray or a McDonald's tray or a bacon box under your living room couch. But for some of y'all, that's totally normal, right? It's weird and kind of cool how...
I might be in the minority here, honey. I'm not sure. Nobody's apparently saying, oh, my family was just like that.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just lying.
You're not lying.
No, I don't give a crap. Nobody in my family gives a crap.
That's why they're the cool family. And my family's all dead. So
my mom just told me last week, and she's, mind you, 71 years old, that she's got herself a new boyfriend because she needed some male companionship. Now, that was paraphrasing, but we did have a discussion about STDs and stuff like that.
You did.
Because I have taken the role as caretaker from a distance.
I did. And that's weird, too. Weird things parents do. I'm going to cover some really quickly. Lifting up your child. Ready? Lifting up your child. Oh, stop interrupting. Lifting up your child. Ah! Lifting up your child to smell their butt.
I I saw you do that last time Emily was home.
You're such a liar. Covering their eyes when scary or sexy things happen on videos. I still do that. Trying their food.
That's my problem.
Probably explains a lot. Trying their food before they try their food and cutting it into itty bitty pieces, even after they already know how to do that themselves, Sean. Baby talk.
You call me out. When's the last time I cut something up for that child of mine? Ours. Yes. A long time ago.
A weird thing parents do.
That's why I worry they're gonna choke to death every night.
He does. They might be 13, but we can't leave the house if they're taking a shower. All right, ready? Talking about poop and asking if they have to go to the bathroom.
Low below.
I've got to tell you that my dad and my Grammy Barnard would do this. Like, I'd be like 30 years old, and they'd be like, "Baby, are you regular? How often do you go? How often do you go? How often do you eliminate your stools?" Like, because that's how my Grammy Barnard talked. She didn't say number 2. She said eliminate. And
she was just jealous. I wanted to remember what it was like to be a younger woman.
It was embarrassing and amazing and horrifying. Another thing
once
that
you reach a certain age, you got a license to do whatever you want.
I guess so.
It's like,
she lived to be 102 or something. So
another 20 years, I'll be farting in the grocery line just like I do in your office, baby.
Oh, we can all just hope and pray for that moment, honey.
And I won't even flinch.
That's another thing parents do. They fart in front of you.
You just brought forth a whole bunch of memories I can never share.
Oh, no. One of my favorite things that I have known many sets of parents to do is lying that they have allergies.
Really?
Yes.
Like to keep you from getting a pet or something?
Exactly. They're like, "Oh, baby, we can't have a dog because mommy's allergic to dogs." And mommy's not allergic to dogs.
Bring home a dog and be like, "Prove it, bit. Prove it."
Mommy.
Well, that's what you got. Prove it, mommy.
There you go. Jenna says, kids mimic. I know many families that self-medicate and their kids don't think about it. No taboo and they are not tempted. See? Poop permeates the air. No need to lift the butt to the nose. Jenna. Yes?
What, no, Johnny? I just had to reread Jenna's thing, and that's how it works for me.
Dee said that her mom used to ask her when she pooped, but she doesn't anymore, thank God.
Dee, when's the last time you pooped?
Oh, you're not her mom, Shawnee. You're not her mom.
I know. I'll be the stand-in mom for the night.
You are a good mom, though, baby. You are a good mom. I know.
The washing machine tells me the same thing.
We're almost out of time. So can I tell a story?
We got all the time in the world, but you go ahead, baby.
All right. This one I entitled Knife of the Week Award. And I feel like this is an ultimate weird parent thing to do, right?
Yeah.
And probably gave the children scars. And from Reddit again. When the kids started getting on my mom's nerves, she claimed that she was about to award the Knife of the Week Award. This was always in the kitchen before, during, or after dinner. She would wave the serrated steak knife around and pretend she was stabbing one of us. I have 2 siblings. Can you imagine?
Horrible.
Can you imagine?
That's crazy.
I feel like such a good parent right now. Jenna said, I think with age, we care less about possibly disturbing or offending someone, and we get that bodily functions and other things happen in life. That's probably true.
Man, I've been telling Carrie that for years. She doesn't believe me.
And Dee would like to tell you, Sean, that she did it this morning. And
I did it twice this morning.
Oh, Jenna said that Sean did go twice this morning. And Jenna said that her mom threw her knives. No, Jenna, no.
At you? At Jenna?
I hope not. Poor Jenna. But at least Jenna's still here. She made it. She made it.
Maybe
and she's
maybe
cool.
she threw. Maybe her mom was like one of those knife specialists.
Throwing
And Jenna had to stand up against the door so her mom could outline her with knives. Yeah. And she said, "That's the greatest." She said, "If you misbehave today, Jenna, guess what? I miss."
Oh, don't, Jenna. I feel like you may have given Shawnee an idea.
Yeah, baby. Let's practice that after the podcast.
All right, there's another cute story. Can I share that, honey?
Oh yeah, man.
All right, ready?
I'm here all night.
Sock wars. We would have sock wars. It would start by a basket of clean, folded socks being left out in the living room. My brother would usually instigate it with my stepdad. Typically, it was an hour-long war of hiding around the house and having an artillery of socks hidden and bombing each other with them. And it usually ended with my mom coming home and getting P-word about all the clean socks being gone. John Hill said that so she like washed all those socks and then they threw them all around the house. They probably had dogs. They probably got furry.
Maybe.
John Hill would like to say that his mom never threw knives at Jenna. And John Hill, we are all very proud of your mom, man. Good on her.
Probably be a long throw anyways.
Yeah, probably Massachusetts to, I think, or Connecticut. I can't remember where John Hill grew up. Jenna laughed. Jenna says, ha, ha, ha. So, there's one other one. You ready?
Yeah, baby.
Okay, fire builders. No, we're not here all night. We're going to go have a life after this. Ready? Fire builders. You know what our having a life is? We're going to walk around town in the dark.
You know what?
Isn't that sad?
I thought there was going to be a special after the show time with the talent segment.
I don't even know anymore. All right, ready? Fire builders from Reddit. We have a regular old wood-burning fireplace. My siblings and I always wanted to help my dad build fires. My dad eventually made up a ranking system of fire building. Actually, this seems like something John Hill would do if he was a parent. The ranks and coordinating responsibilities were as follows. Assistant's apprentice can only rip up newspaper and retrieve kindling.
That's a crap job.
It is. Apprentice can assist higher ranks in making fire. Junior fire builder can build fire unsupervised, but higher ranked builder must check work before lighting. Fire builder can build and light fires unsupervised. Master fire builder, rank my dad made up so he could still be the higher rank than me when I got older. And in this household, you had to make 50 fires at each level to move up to a higher rank. And they even had a little board with everybody's rank in progress. And that is a weird thing a parent did.
That's super weird because the master fire builder probably died before the apprentice moved up. So then they were screwed. No more fires in that house.
Dude, isn't that amazing? Parents are weird. We're so weird. Jenna said that that dad had a gamer heart. I think so, actually.
He sure did. Probably.
Oh, yeah. And I bet they didn't pawn the games and give it to them again on Christmas either.
No, because they didn't have any actual games. They had to make games up.
Do you know that people in other countries think it's weird that Americans put their kids to bed so early?
Some countries, right?
Yeah, like in Spain, they keep their kids up to like 10 so that they can interact as a family.
Our youngest one goes to bed at like 5 a.m. regularly, so it's a shame. It's a shame I don't let them stay up longer.
That is totally not cool in America, but in Spain, you'd almost be okay. Almost.
But that's in summertime only.
In the summertime only. And he makes them wake up too, sadly.
Get out. Get out.
Dave, do you have anything else to say about parents being weird?
I don't know.
John Hill said, hell no, that's way too many kids. That's funny.
How many is that? Any?
More than 0, probably? Yeah.
More than 0.
More than 0. Do you have anything or you want to say goodbye, honey?
I don't know. I got all kinds of stuff right here, but I got the Jesus one.
What, are we going to offend people?
I don't know. The one I told you about is uber manipulative. My mom regularly told me.
Yeah.
I'm going to try again, Captain Interruptus.
So, you interrupt me 8,000 times.
My mom regularly told me I was the reincarnation of Jesus and would have me lay hands on her legs. She was crippled in a car accident before I was born.
I feel like this is really your story.
No. Her legs never healed, but I always thought they might. I legit believed I was Jesus till I was like 13. She would also tell my little sister that I was Jesus. I think that one's just wrong for so many reasons.
Did the little sister get to be anyone cool? Like Buddha?
The little sister, I don't know. It doesn't say. That's the end of the story unless you didn't print off the next page.
Oh, I didn't, but I didn't look at them either.
Because that's my last one. That's my last one on my.
Well, so can you imagine thinking you're Jesus for 13 years?
Yeah.
Like, did he ever doubt himself when he didn't miraculously heal his mom?
No, when he was 13, and he was like, crap, woman, you're just getting all these free massages out of me every night.
Crap, woman.
And he was mad. So mad.
Crap, woman. I don't think all of us talk to their parents the way you talk to your parents.
I would never say that to my mother since I was 30.
Crap, woman.
She wouldn't care.
No, your mom wouldn't care.
I probably would say that to my mother, actually.
There are a whole lot of stories about parents getting it on and how that's weird.
There's a ton of them. And if you never heard or caught your parents getting it on, you just block that memory out. That's my opinion.
I didn't.
Are you raising your hand, Miss Barnard?
Yes.
You may speak. Go ahead.
I don't remember ever catching my parents doing it.
Oh, see? You blocked that memory out. Oh, no.
Well, I thought I caught my mom, but my brother told me I caught my stepsister and that I changed the memory.
Yeah, you have different circumstances. That might
have
be possible.
Circumstances.
But I doubt it. I think you probably just blocked it out.
Probably. Maybe all those times that I thought our house was haunted, it was really just my parents having sex.
That's the right. You got it. You see, you didn't really block it out totally.
Dude.
It was the chains of bondage rattling, not the ghost chains.
All the moaning that I thought was a ghost.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh gosh. Well, that's depressing. That's very, very depressing.
I enlightened you tonight, baby.
I didn't want that epiphany. I'm going to have to go repress that right now. I don't want to imagine my little hobbit mom having sex with my sexy stepdad or my little hobbit dad.
Then no. Don't imagine.
I'm going to go back to ghosts.
Just pretend like you lived in a very haunted house.
There. I thought it was a very haunted house, but now I'm a little worried.
So, did those ghosts ever have like the sound of like chains rattling?
Only that time that I woke up and my TV was on the Casper the Friendly Ghost. No, it was really my brother's TV.
Are you
yeah.
Sure?
My mom didn't do that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Man, you are slow.
Thanks. I love you too, baby.
I love you, baby.
I love you so much. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, both our daughters, when people are going to be like, what weird things did your parents do? They'll be like, they have this podcast. They were so stupid.
That's all right.
Oh, man. Jenna, you and me. All right. Hey, we need to do the outro and thanks. Do you want to say thank you, honey?
Yeah, man. Thank you.
All right.
I was just getting started. Thank you for listening. We greatly and genuinely and sincerely appreciate your time on a Friday night.
Yay.
Or whenever you listen to this podcast. And love you all.
I love you all. And it's okay to be strange. We get it from our parents.
Please do. Reach under the couch, pull out that tray, and roll up a fat bone.
No, we're not endorsing that. I write books for children. Oh, Sean.
Come on,
Sean,
baby.
Sean.
Thank you for listening to Loving the Strange. Please be sure to like and subscribe. And remember, embrace the strange. New episodes every Saturday, live streaming Fridays. Go get your strange on, friends. Thanks for listening.